Hello, I'm Mr. Bill. The kids call me that for 34 years here in McCook, Nebraska. But I've also been a wide range of work, from ranch and farm and factory, not counting bakery, for 25 years. And so I've had a wide range of people that I've spoken to. Hardly any of them, though, if you ask them a simple question on a one subject item, tell me your best, not just if you had a snake story, but your best snake story. Because Southwest Nebraska, there are more rattlesnakes than there are people out here. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'd like to tell today the best snake story that I ever heard. Now, I must exclude my own snake stories because I might be biased. I'll also exclude the snake conspiracies, the two that I've been told that they found more than 100 snakes dumped out on the road, all deadly poisonous snakes, you bet, here in Southwest Nebraska by who knows who did that. With that in mind, the best snake story I ever heard. It comes from a woman down by Stratton, and she was out hanging clothes on the line. You know, that's almost a lost art in a lot of places. They use their dryers. Clothesline. In my day, everybody had one. Well, she was outside hanging clothes up, and as she was walking along hanging the clothes, she stepped on something that didn't feel quite right. Not a rock and not a clod, just something. And she glanced down, and in total, complete fear, she had just stepped on a rattlesnake, a big one, probably about 30 inches long. The good thing is that she'd stepped on the head. Also, she said it was out of sheer fright that she didn't jump back, and she would have been bitten because she couldn't have got out of range in time, and that rattler would have hit her. So she froze right where she was, with that head of that rattlesnake under her foot. The snake itself started fighting, trying to get out from under that foot, including the snake wrapped around her leg at times, trying to twist its way and get that head pried out from under her foot. She did not let any pressure off of it. She kept it there. But what do you do? How do you get, off of a landmine? Landmines, quite often you step on a landmine and it doesn't go off until you step off of it. That way with a snakehead. If you stepped on a snakehead, it can't hurt you till you step off, and then it's going to bite you before you can get away. So she looked around. Her husband was gone for the day, and there was nobody out in that small town. And finally, though, a neighbor heard her screaming and come out and looked out that direction, and she came over. Now what do? Well, they called a couple of guys, and they came too, trying to figure out how are they going to get her off that snake without getting bit. And so what one of them came up with, they happened to have nearby just a branch cutter, an old branch cutter, and so that's what they did. They took this, got it right up next to her shoe, and cut that snake in two, leaving only the head under her shoe. Pulled the snake away from her then, and then she got off that snake head. And what was incredible, a snake head that's been cut off was still biting, trying to bite something. And it did that for minutes and minutes after it got its head cut off. How many critters do you know that can still kill you after they're dead? Absolutely. But to me, that's the best snake story I ever heard. And a woman, out of sheer fright, that didn't jump away from it and probably get bit, you bet. That'd do it. With that in mind, that's the best one. But what's your best snake story?